You ever hear stories about a place so cursed, even the shadows seem afraid to linger? Well, let me tell you about the haunted path that cuts through Black Hollow Woods. It ain't marked on no modern maps, and the locals, well, they won't talk about it. Not out of superstition, but out of fear. I first heard about it from my Uncle Roger. He was a war vet, tough as nails, but his eyes turned cold every time he spoke about that trail. He used to say, "Boy, if you ever come across a dirt path with no birds above and dead silence all around, turn your ass around. Fast." Now me? I was young and stupid. Curiosity ain't just dangerous. It's fatal when you're dealing with things older than time. So when I moved to a small cabin near Black Hollow last fall, guess what I found after a long hike into the woods? A narrow trail, swallowed by twisted trees, and the air. God, the air was still, like the world forgot to breathe in that place. No wind, no birdsong, not even the rustle of leaves. I stood there, toe to gravel, feeling this chill creep up my spine like icy fingers tracing my bones. But instead of turning back, I did the dumbest thing imaginable. I stepped in. First, it was just quiet, but then I noticed the path never curved. It just kept going straight, unnaturally straight. Trees on both sides were leaning in, like they were whispering secrets to each other. But the whispers, they weren't from the trees. I could hear faint voices, muffled, wet, and echoing, like they were coming from underground. I told myself it was my imagination, but every step felt heavier. Like something didn't want me leaving. A mile in, the light dimmed. Not from sunset, no, the canopy above was just thick, too thick for normal trees. And then I saw her. Standing right in the center of the path was a woman, pale, barefoot, with her back to me. She wore a tattered white gown, stained red from the hem down, long black hair covering her face like a curtain. I froze, couldn't breathe, couldn't speak, and before I could even blink, she was gone. I swear to God she didn't run. She didn't walk. She just blinked out of existence. But in that split second she disappeared, I felt a warm breath on my neck, and a whisper, "Go back." My instincts screamed run, but my legs moved forward, slow and mechanical, almost like the path was pulling me. I started seeing things out the corner of my eye, movements, shadows. Once, I saw a man hanging from a tree, eyes wide open, lips moving, but no sound. Another time, a child crawled across the path backward, bones cracking with each motion. I don't know why I didn't turn back. Maybe I couldn't. Maybe that place had rules I didn't understand. The deeper I went, the more the air changed. It got thicker, smelled like rot and old blood. And then I found the cabin. Yeah. A damn log cabin just sitting in the middle of that cursed path. Lights flickering inside. But it wasn't wired for electricity. I knew that before I even touched the door. Still, I went in, because something inside me said it was the only way out. It was pitch black, save for one room, the kitchen. And inside, an old man sat at the table, dead, slumped forward, eyes gouged out, blood dried around his wrists. And carved into the wood of the table were 3 words. "You are next." I ran. God help me. I ran faster than I've ever run in my life. But the path wasn't behind me anymore. It was ahead, like I never left it. Time stopped making sense. Daylight never came. I couldn't tell if I was running in circles or being toyed with, and then I tripped, fell face first onto the ground. Something sharp sliced my cheek. I looked down and saw bones, human bones, hundreds of them, buried just beneath the surface like someone tried to cover them in a hurry. I was lying in a graveyard, not a proper one, a secret one. I crawled up, shaking, bleeding, screaming, and that's when the trees started whispering again, louder, angrier. I didn't understand their language, but the meaning was clear. You don't belong. Just when I thought I'd lose my damn mind, I saw a flicker of light in the distance, warm, orange, flickering like firelight. I ran toward it, limbs barely working, lungs burning. It was a torch nailed into a wooden post, and beneath it, a sign carved in rotting wood, "End of the path. Go back or stay forever." But there was no path back. Behind me it was gone. No trail, no forest, just blackness stretching into nothing. I was stuck. Or maybe that was the price of knowing too much. I made camp near the sign that night, scared, broken, hoping it was all a dream. But I didn't sleep. You can't sleep when the trees breathe, when you hear dragging footsteps circling you in the dark, when you see eyes blink open in the bark of the trees, when something laughs just behind your ear and there's no one there. The next morning, if you can call it morning, I found the path again, only it was different, wider, hungrier, and it felt like it had swallowed me whole. I walked it for days, weeks maybe. There's no time in that place. I came across more signs, each more disturbing than the last. Turn around. You were warned. The ground remembers your name. And the faces. Oh God, the faces. Sometimes they'd appear in the trees, pressing against the bark like they were trapped inside. Mouths open, screaming, eyes hollow. And sometimes they weren't in the trees. They were behind me. The woman in white returned one night. She stood at the edge of my firelight, whispering something I couldn't hear. Then she stepped closer, and I saw she didn't have a face, just smooth skin where eyes, nose, and mouth should have been. But she wept, silent tears falling from nowhere. And then she pointed behind me. I turned and saw the old man from the cabin, now standing, head twisted backward, jaw hanging open like it had been unhinged. He didn't move, didn't blink, just stared, until the fire went out. And then, nothing. I woke up outside my cabin the next morning. Clean, safe, no scratches, no wounds. But there was dirt under my fingernails, and a note carved into my front door. You left something behind. I haven't gone back since. Hell, I won't even walk near the tree line anymore. But sometimes, when the wind dies and the world gets too quiet, I swear I can hear her whisper, "Come finish the path. Let this be your warning. There's a trail in Black Hollow Woods. If you ever find it, turn around. Forget you ever saw it. Because once it knows your name, it never lets go."